So Satan's religion, the great harlot that sits on many waters, versus the true bride of Christ. How did Paul describe us? 2 Corinthians 11:2. I have betrothed you to one husband that I may present you as a chaste virgin to Christ. All of us are engaged. Have you ever thought of that? Do you know anybody that's engaged? Do you keep your eye on them? They act different when they're engaged. I mean, the men act nervous and they sweat. And I've done hundreds of funerals, but I've done hundreds of weddings too. You know how many pass out? The guys lock their knees and they don't breathe, and they see her coming, and I've had to catch them. And you slowly allow them. You don't stop the ceremony because you only have the hour, so you just get them down and they sit and they lean against you, and about 3 minutes later they're all embarrassed or they throw up. Oh, I've had everything happen at weddings, but let's go back to the engaged. You meet a couple that's engaged, if they're really in love, it's unbelievable. It's like magnetism. They watch each other. If they're apart, they're on the phone or they're on whatever, and they can't wait to see him. Paul says, hey, you see anybody that's betrothed to someone else, you see that behavior, that's what you're supposed to be to Christ. You're not supposed to be dating anybody else. How would you like to have someone that's engaged here at Word of Life, and the one they're engaged to, is up at Scroon Lake, and that fella down here that has the girlfriend up there at Scroon Lake is asking every one of you girls out here, and you look at him and say, aren't you engaged to, in Scroon Lake? You go, oh yeah, but I'm not in Scroon Lake. I'm here. What would you do? Well, I wouldn't go out with him, number one, and I'd tell Susie in Scroon Lake about his behavior, because he should not be. He's betrothed. He's promised. That's how Paul says Satan wants to get us out of our betrothal with Christ. He wants to distract us and be intoxicated with Satan's plan. By the way, he doesn't usually get us with the religion part, but he does get the materialism. And those we're going to see next hour. Most Christians don't succumb to the false religion. They succumb to the materialism side, and they go Satan's way instead of God's because they like pleasure and power and possessions. Okay, who is the woman in verse 1? She's the great harlot. The harlot, theologians say this. The yellow is what you could read in a theological book. The harlot is the apostate church of human religion. And then I add, I personally believe the Tribulation's apostate church will be a form of the Roman Catholic Church merged together with all other world religions. Now look, here's a bumper sticker. I took a picture of a bumper sticker. This is what I see in Revelation 17. You've seen it, the coexist one. Islam, Buddhism, Scientology, that's Tom Cruise and that group. Judaism, paganism, that's the whole going back to the pagan things. Wiccan stuff, and then there's Christianity. That's the coexist. Remember, Satan's Genesis 3 goal is to get us to abandon God's way and then make our own way to God. And look at what we have. We have Charles Taz Russell that started the Jehovah's Witnesses. We have Joseph Smith and Brigham Young that started, the whole Mormon thing. Then we have Mary Baker Glover Patterson Fry Eddy, who starts, the Christian Science thing, and then we have Ellen G. White with Seventh-day Adventists. We have all these other religions and a lot more. But look what the Roman Catholic Church has done. Bonnie and I were teaching last year. I teach Paul's epistles to European Bible Institutes, and I have a best time. And when I'm in Italy, I take them on field trips, and I have a great time. So I took them to Assisi. That's a beautiful town in Italy, north of Rome. It's on the left. You can hardly. That's me taking a picture with my iPhone of that peace bell. There's a little plaque, and I took a phone. You can't read it, but basically what it has is the 4 world religions are represented. On the left, the little round thing, the top one there, is the Dalai Lama's symbol for Buddhists. Then the cross below that is Christianity. The crescent moon is Islam, and the Star of David is the Star of David. So those 4 religions were invited by the Pope, the Dalai Lama, the Grand Mufti of Cairo, the Pope was there, and they brought Rabbi chief rabbi Yonah Metzger of, I don't know, from Jerusalem, it's on the plaque, those four came together and they said, we found commonality. That there is a part that we all agree with: Islam, Buddhism, Catholicism, and Christianity. And so they started the Peace Park. Now the Pope has actively, since the 50s, been building this Peace Park. And what he got is, every time a world leader of a world religion would come up and meet with him in Assisi, they left one of these monuments. Here, I'll walk down. I actually took my cell phone and took a picture. He got the Shinto people. Then he got the next one, that next one, you see the Ark of the Covenant and the cherubim. He got the Jews to come. Then that wing thing are the Greeks and the Greek mythology. And there's Catholicism. There's this, that one there, the thing is the Egyptian. That's the people that are Zoroastrian. There's the Pope. Oh, there's the yin and yang thing that has to do with Eastern religions. Oh, that big nose, that's from Easter Island and all the Polynesian religions. And if you keep, I ran out of film on I took so many pictures of this. This is not hidden. This is the goal of Roman Catholicism, to bring all peoples into one worship. Do you know what they all have in common? Islam has no problem with Mary. They have a problem with saying Jesus Christ is the Son of God and rose from the dead. But they have no problem with Mary. No religion seems to have any problem with Mary. What's the common strand of all of Satan's religion? It's a mother-son religion. What's the first thing you see when you walk into the Vatican? It's right there. You walk through the big doors of the Vatican, the headquarters of the Roman Catholic Church, right there. The first visit. Everybody's around it taking pictures. It's called the Pietà. It's a gigantic Mary that's like 30 feet high, and she's cradling Jesus in her arms. The mother-son. Semiramis, Tammuz, Mary, baby Jesus. It's in every religion of the world, whether it's in Mexico, the heights of the Andes, old Babylonian stuff they're digging up. All religions in the world have the little piece of this mother-son. So do you see, if Ezekiel 38 and 39 happens anytime soon, and Islam is no longer to be reckoned with, or Russia like they were, the Antichrist says, hey, let's have time out. Why don't we do this? We're going to leave the number 2 most holy site for Islam alone. We're going to leave number 3 alone. And we're going to slide in, some Christian things, or maybe other religion, maybe put in a Buddhist thing or something. And we're going to let the Jews put up their long-awaited temple. Do you see how it would work? And you see how Roman Catholicism would fit in there? Here's Newsweek magazine, which is not particularly Christian. Mosque, synagogue, and church all being built together in Abu Dhabi. This has already started. You ever heard of the Abraham Accords that were started years back trying to bring peace to the Middle East? This is part of it. To unite the monotheistic religions. And so we'll put a Jewish thing, we'll put a Christian thing, we'll put an Islamic thing, and we'll leave it alone. So that is the first part of Revelation 17, exposing Satan's plan.